Invasive species biologist, Dr. Shikha Singh. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Nice to see you. Biologist, you're full-time with
Yep.
the Jackson County Conservation District, but you're also a specialist on invasive species.
Yeah.
Is that by design? You have an interest in invasive species?
I love nature. I love the environment. I always wanted to protect it. But in case your viewers don't know what an invasive species actually is, because there is some confusion, is it's any kind of plant, animal, or any kind of organism that's not from around here. But in addition to not being from around here, it either has the potential or does cause harm to the economy, the environment, or to human health. So that's the basic. So things like a dandelion, it's here, it's not really native, but it doesn't really do much. It doesn't really harm anyone. So that's not considered an invasive species.
I think people in the Great Lakes are familiar with the term invasive species because of some animals that have been affecting the Great Lakes that are not native. And the one that...
the zebra mussel
yes.
is iconic, the sea lamprey, and, all sorts of aquatic invasive species. And that was brought in, ballast water, recreation, and then kind of gets moved around like that as well.
Have some of those, since they've been affecting the Great Lakes, have we seen them affect any inland lakes, particularly in our area?
Absolutely. Like some of those like zebra mussels and now the quagga mussel also have made its way inland, and then they can clog up motors, and they can scratch things, and it actually hurts people too, especially those shells that are on the shoreline. People are walking over them, cutting themselves. So it does, and it also takes over lakes as well. Clogs pipes, which can be expensive to kind of fix.
So with the balance of nature, we think that every animal, every organism has a predator, natural predator that keeps that in check. But it sounds like something like the zebra mussel. There's nothing that is eating those or destroying those.
Yeah, and sometimes when these species come in there, the native animals, like they don't really know, like, hey, what is this? Can I eat this? So it does take a lot of time for animals being like, hey, I can eat this. But also some of these invasive species, like they come here and then they just dominate, like they reproduce really quickly, take over, and so there really isn't enough of the native species to actually make an impact.
You brought some photos of some of the invasive species that we have here in the area.
Yeah.
And let's start with the European frogbit.
Yeah, so unfortunately, like Steve Irwin, I can't bring live specimens here, but the pictures are the best thing. So European frogbit is an aquatic plant. It floats on top of the surface. And we think it got here because people had them in their aquarium. People just, like, hey, I don't want this anymore, and they dumped it in. And the problem with this, it is beautiful. A lot of these things are beautiful, is that it does spread over. It prefers, like slow moving, water bodies, and it can clog up canals, it can impede recreation.
Well, people that have lakefront property, they can't stand it when something like this shows up.
Yeah, it takes time and money to manage.
And we have several lakes that have some ongoing problems with persistent invasive species, or maybe they're just plant life that they're just so stubborn they just keep coming back.
Absolutely.
How does somebody, like, you talk about the European frogbit, it's pretty. One is pretty.
Yeah.
At what point does it become dangerous?
Well, I mean, so not all will necessarily become dangerous, but sometimes if it just, takes over, it may, some of these aquatic plants may have roots, not this one necessarily, but others have big tangled roots. People could drown if it's really severe. You can't see what's coming around the corner, so it could have impede recreation, and it can make some dangerous scenarios.
Yeah. Well, people don't want these in
No.
the lake. All right, what else do we have?
All right, the next one was hemlock woolly adelgid.
Oh, this is pretty too.
Yeah, well, actually the insect is actually the white cotton masses.
It's insects?
Yeah, it's an aphid. And so what we see here is that these insects will have a little cocoon type, and they will do it on the bottom side. So what you're seeing is the bottom of the hemlock tree. and they'll attach to like the stem, and they will pierce in, and they'll suck the energy out of the tree because it's nutrient. And so if you have a big infestation, a lot of tiny critters trying to suck the nutrient out of a tree, it can impact and make the tree sick. And so if you don't treat it, 4 to 10 years, it might kill the tree.
Do they go after certain types of trees?
Yeah, this one is specific to hemlock trees. There are some species that are less susceptible. I think the mountain hemlock is not as susceptible. Unless it's sick, then it might. But the eastern hemlock for sure is. Well,
I know you'll remember the Dutch elm disease that destroyed all the elm trees in pretty much the whole country, right?
Yep.
Was that the result of some sort of
specific insect?
Wow.
And there's insects like diseases, bacteria, fungus. There's all sorts of invasive species.
No, I was thinking last night, I could not be a farmer. There's just too much to know in terms of management, pest management, nutrition for the crops and the soil. It's a lot.
It is a lot, but thankfully there are those of us who it's our job to know these things and help.
Is the JCCD, do you serve agricultural interests then?
Absolutely. So we love working with farmers. Sometimes I'll get phone calls from farmers like, hey, what is this? What's the best way to get rid of it? We also have some federal employees that we work with, and we'll kind of tag team. So they might have some suggestions. We'll kind of have some suggestions. So our whole office works with a variety of people: residents, farmers, business owners.
All right, let's take a look at some more of these invasive species.
All right, lesser celandine. This is new on our radar, but it is a spring ephemeral. So this is more likely to be seen early in the spring. I would say around March, end of March, early April. And in the next picture I have after this will show how quickly it spreads. And so yeah, it's all over. All of that green stuff, it should be brown at this time of year, and it's completely dominating it.
Wow.
And so it will outcompete the native spring ephemerals, which are sometimes certain insects, they need a certain plant for a part of their life cycle. And if it doesn't find it, it's bad news. So that's the problem with some of these plants.
So this plant, it is native to somewhere. And where that plant is native, does it cause problems like it does when it's in a...
I think it does. There are some, checks and balances there. There could be some insects that could, feed on it or know to eat it. Sometimes there are other plants that grow just as quickly. So there might, so there's no competition.
The picture you have there, water side, is it is associated with?
It likes, moist soils, wooded areas. Not in the water, but just, kind of around it. But it can also be in wooded areas, where the soil is moist.
Yeah, it looks early spring, so you'll see this pop up right away, and it'll be, that'll be a sign that this isn't right.
Right, so they're very specific characteristics.
All right, let's see what else. Invasive.
Yep.
Oh, I've seen these.
Yeah, this is mile a minute weed. And this is actually not in Jackson that we know of yet. So currently we think it's only in Calhoun, which is, the border of our
Well, it'll
county.
be here in a minute.
Maybe. So yeah, this species also monopolizes, the resources of an area. It grows really quickly, hence the name mile a minute.
Wow.
And there are some reports in peak growing time, it can grow 6 inches a day. And if you look at it, I mean, it's beautiful. It's got, nice triangular leaves. It has blue metallic berries or fruit. And so each of those fruits can drop off or be carried by birds and start another population somewhere else.
So the berries are the seeds?
Yep, the fruit, which contains the seeds.
And is the berry, does somebody eat it?
I actually have eaten it before. It doesn't really taste that good, but it's kind of bland. So it is edible. It's not something that I would choose, but that you bring a good point. If you don't know what something is, don't eat it, because we do have some berries that are poisonous, make us sick.
Yeah, anything. Mushrooms, wild mushrooms, anything. Yeah. All right, next we have, what's this?
Stilt grass. So this has been a species that I've been working on with a couple of different partners. Yeah.
Stilt grass.
So this is in Asia, and actually the fun fact is that this actually came here because it was used as packing material for porcelain. And the first documented case was in 1919, and that was in Tennessee. And you can see it's been gradually making its way to our area. And so what you see here, you see me standing in someone's or kneeling in someone's front yard, and all that around me is stilt grass. And you can tell this is it's a grass, so it's hard to identify, but it's got those lance-shaped leaves and a silvery off-center midvein.
And they're harmful because
they just take over as other species.
One thing you haven't mentioned, I don't think we have a picture of it, is the garlic mustard.
Correct, yeah.
And I think Dahlem used to have an event where they had people come out and go through the place to rip up garlic mustard. Is that still a problem?
That still is an issue in many areas. And so that's something that a lot of people have it in their yards or around their neighborhoods.
Can you eat it?
Yeah, I've eaten garlic mustard. I like it. I make pesto out of it.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds, with a name like garlic mustard, it sounds...
Yeah.
All right, next we have, this is an animal.
Yeah, this is red swamp crayfish. So a lot of people, if you eat crayfish, you've probably eaten this before. It is native to the southern part of the United States and parts of Mexico. And one telltale sign is like those bright red bumps. And while it is native in parts of the United States, it's not native in our region. And so how we think it got here was, again, people used to be able to buy it in the pet stores, releasing it. We used to be able to buy it live here to eat. People could cook, and then they would take leftovers and use it as bait. We're not allowed to do that anymore. So,
red swamp crawfish, not here yet.
We do have points, I think, in different parts of Michigan, so like Oakland, but none in Jackson County or Washtenaw County yet.
All right, one more photo, and this is another animal.
Yeah, so this is a hot button that's getting a lot of airplay. So this is the spotted lanternfly. And in this picture, you'll see the adult. That's the larger picture. And inset, it does have a couple of life stages. So the top one, the black and white, beetle or bug looking, is a juvenile. So the first to third instar is that color. And then the final juvenile stage, it's like that red, black, and white. And then after that comes the adult. Some telltale things to look for is the yellow banding on the side of the abdomen, that scarlet red hind wing, and some black dots speckled all over.
Again, it's very pretty.
It's pretty.
Yeah, but
we think it got here. Maybe the egg masses were on some stone that was imported. And this is problematic because it is also a sap sucker. It'll pierce in and eat nutrients and weaken a plant. So some of the things that we're concerned about are grapes, apples, hops, some pretty important commodities in this area.
So those two juvenile stages, it doesn't have a larva stage?
Those are the two.
Oh, those are them.
Yeah.
And at what point are they eating because it looks like they're clamped onto a leaf.
Yeah, they're just walking around, and so they are, the main damage, is like the adults, so they have those pierced, but I mean, they're damaging. They pierce in, and I'm not quite sure, how much damage it'll do at the beginning, when they first hatch, but they are growing, they are getting nutrients, so they must be doing something. Piercing in. And they also excrete honeydew, which is a sugary waste product, and that can attract black sooty mold.
Oh, great.
So, yeah.
So these things, none of them we want.
Correct.
Is there are there sprays? Are there things that people can do to protect their own yards?
Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't want to give out, certain brand names or anything right now, because it really is a situation of first you have to identify what you have, and then only then can you say, hey, we need to use this to treat it. And if you are treating, say plants and you are using herbicide, make sure that you are following the label, because the label is the law.
Shikha, are there any species in Jackson which are native to this area that become invasive if they get somewhere else?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Our beautiful raccoons are actually invasive in different parts of the world. I know in Japan it was a popular cartoon character. So people got excited and they started bringing in raccoons there. And to the surprise of nobody, these raccoons, when they got too big and inquisitive and they didn't want them anymore, they would release it. So they are creating problems there. We also have squirrels in Europe, and even some of our fish, like large and smallmouth bass, are creating problems in different countries in Africa.
Wow. So all kinds of resource materials and information available on your website.
Absolutely, yeah. You can drop by our office as well. Or contact me via email. That's the best way.
Where's your office?
It is actually on Ganson Street, so right across the road from the Jackson County Parks. And we're on the second floor.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in today. Keep your eyes out.
And I do have some stuff I will leave at in the front of your office, so people want to stop by and pick up some informational cards.
Oh, awesome. They're here for you when you want to stop by at the front desk. From the Jackson County Conservation District and the Jackson, Lenawee, Washtenaw SISMA Coordinator, Invasive Species Biologist, Dr. Shikha Singh. Up next,